Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. On this Erev Shabbos Parashas Naso. One of the prominent topics discussed in Parashas Naso is the Parasha of Nazir. The person who decides he's going to take a vow of Naziris, which means he does not become, he takes a vow, he's not going to become Tamil Mason, he is not going to drink anything that's Yotzim in Hagefen, anything comes from the vine, grapes, wine, nothing. He will not eat or drink any of those items. And he's not going to cut his hair, he's going to make his hair grow long. So, absent from the parasha of Nazir is the amount of time that the Nazir is supposed to take. It says a person takes on a vow of Naziris, but it doesn't tell us how long that vow should be for. How long should he be prohibiting himself in these three areas? 30 days, a year, 10 years? It doesn't say it. That's one question the Meshech asks. Why is that l'chayra very important feature of the parasha of Nazir absent? Question number two, the pasuk says in Perek Vav, pasuk Gimel, as the Nazir is ending his Naziris. Zois Teres HaNazir, this is the Torah of the Nazir. When his Naziris is over, he has to now bring his korbanos, his sacrifices. He will be brought. You will bring him. Asks the Sifri, the Medrash Halacha, what others bring him, if he brings himself. Question number two, why does the pasuk say, why does it phrase the person who's coming to finish off his Naziris in the third person? He will be brought. It should have said he'll bring himself. Why? He brings someone else. Zokti Meshech Chochma, he says, we all know that the Yesod, the goal of the Nazir, is to be a Nazir Hashem. Nazir Hazil Hashem. As the famous Gemara in Nedarim, the famous Gemara in Nedarim says in Daf Testament Beis, that Shimon HaTzadik was the Kohen Gadol. He saw a Nazir come to him with beautiful hair, beautiful eyes, a beautiful face. He says, B'ni, my son, why did you take on this vow of Naziris? Why did you do it? He said, I was a shepherd for my father, and I once came to a wellspring to give my sheep to drink, water to drink, and I saw my reflection, and my Yetzer Hara tried to get the best of me. And it tried to be matrid min ha'olam, and I saw where it was going to take me. So I decided to take a vow of Naziris, and I'll cut my hair for Hashem. I'll offer myself up for Hashem, so to speak. Shimon HaTzadik kissed him on his head and said, about you, the pasuk says, you are a Nazir for Hashem. The goal of Naziris is to guard ourselves from our Yetzer Hara. Says the Meshech Chochma, it's specifically to guard us from Taiva, Gaiva, and Moisaris. To guard us from Taiva, desires, Gaiva, arrogance, and Moisaris, luxuries. Says the Meshech Chochma, that's why it doesn't say how long Nazir is supposed to be. Because every Yankel and Barrel has to figure out for himself, do I need 30 days? Do I need 100 days? How long do I need to achieve this goal where I calm down from my desires, from my indulgence and luxuries, and from my arrogance? And now the Meshech Chochma says a choshev psychological yesod, an unbelievable yesod. He says like this. He says that a person's arrogance, a person's desire for physical pleasure is going to blind him. It's going to blind his intellect. His intellect will be subservient to his emotions, to his desires. Until he says, until he gets to a point where he's able to look at himself like he looks at others. We're very good at judging other people. I'm very good at seeing the chesroinus in others, the lackings, and all the positive things too. In myself, I'm very good at seeing my milas, my good side. My chesroinus, I don't think I have that many. So a person loves himself, a person has an abba for himself, and therefore he's not able to really, his abbas atzma is not really able to objectively decide for himself when is he overindulging and when is he getting the proper amount of gashmias. As the Meshech Chochma says, Hashem's plan is not for us to be aesthetics, not involving ourselves in the hana of this world. We're supposed to get pleasure from this world. We're supposed to enjoy ourselves. But there's a gvul, there's a boundary. We can't go past that boundary. In Judaism, we don't believe in extremes. We don't believe in shunning this world. We don't believe in overindulging in this world. We believe in the Shvil HaZahav, in the Rambam's golden mean, being normal in the center. How you define center is a separate child. But the Nazir is trying to detach himself from himself, says the Meshech Chochma. He's trying to view himself like a third party. Just like I can evaluate someone else objectively, and I don't have that bias, the point of Nazir is the point of a person distancing himself for a period of time from being a Tamil Mason, from cutting his hair, his beautiful hair, letting it grow all disheveled, from not drinking wine. A person making himself that he's not going to drink wine. The point of all that is that I can kind of step out of myself, and I can view myself in an objective manner. And that is the point, and that is the goal of Naziris. Therefore, it says the Pasuk, Yavi Oisei al Pesach al Moed. So it's talking about, from the vantage point of someone else, the Nazir should bring that guy, meaning himself. The point of Naziris is to take on the vow for X amount of time, enough that I personally need to detach myself from myself, to detach that bias that I have of myself to myself, and be able to view myself objectively. And that's why the Zman, the time for Nazir, is not mentioned, and that's why it says in the third person, he will be brought. Because the Nazir has to bring himself and view himself like another person. My bracha to all of us is that we incorporate this message into ourselves, and we hold back from indulging in taivas, in indulging in our gaiva, and rezoicha to view ourselves in an objective manner and reach the goal of the Naziris without having to take on the vow of Naziris. Wishing everyone a wonderful Shabbat.